Hey gang, Azrach here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will review the Ultimate Neighbour action figure from Mess Toys. Mess Toys are a Chinese manufacturing company and they have recently been making some amazing action figures and replica figures. It looks like this action figure takes inspiration from the Superior Spiderman comics, in which Dr. Otto Octavius's consciousness takes over Peter's body and we get ourselves this version of Spider-Man. I did research online to understand the origins of this action figure, and I can only come to the conclusion that this is a figure inspired by the amazing Yamaguchi style of action figures, but this is a completely original figure and not a copy of any other figure. So now that we have a little bit of history, let's get into the review of this action figure. So this figure comes in a very simple box that has the Mess Toys branding up front. It says Ultimate Neighbour down here, and it is a 1/12 scale action figure. It has a cool logo of the spider symbol on the front, which kind of mimics Spider-Man's chest, and it goes all the way around to the back, which kind of mimics the, I guess the spot where all the arms plug into. So we'll take a look at that on the figure as well later, but that kind of mimics Spider-Man's back. There's a little bit of a warning here, and also note to say read the warning carefully. The same thing on the bottom here, and just the Ultimate Neighbour Mess Toys logo up at the top, and nothing else in terms of packaging. Inside the box, we have two tiers of packaging. The top tier has all the additional heads, accessories, hands, and the Spider-Man action figure. And on the bottom layer, we've got the action figure stand, the additional arms, and the spider wings. So we'll take a look at all of this in a second, and let's just get everything out of the box. Before we jump back into the video, I wanted to give a quick shout out to PCBWay who are sponsoring this video. PCBWay is the home for prototyping and manufacturing, and whether you require PCBs, 3D prints, or CNC machining, PCBWay has got the solution for you. Their platform makes it super easy to bring your designs from idea to reality, and they're fast, reliable, and affordable. And right now, PCBWay has something really fun going on with their mascot design contest. You can design and submit Eon themed files or create your own mascot design for PCBWay for a chance to win cash prizes, coupons, certificates, and bragging rights. PCBWay will announce a total of 8 winners, so get designing today. It is a great opportunity to show off your creativity, and it's open to everyone. So just head over to PCBWay.com, link in the description below, and check out their mascot design contest for all of the details on how to enter. Thanks again to PCBWay for supporting creators like me, and now let's get back to the video. So we will kick things off with the star of the show, the Spider-Man action figure, and this action figure, I think it looks really good. The reason I say that is because the sculpting on it is really done well. It's exactly what I would expect a Spider-Man figure to have, although there are some simple parts that have not much sculpting details on it. The musculature looks amazing, although it is very similar or almost a one-to-one copy of the amazing Yamaguchi figures. The spiderweb details on the body also look like they have been sculpted in, because I can feel a little bit of an indent going on, and it goes all the way around and it has details where needed. And the gauntlet parts also look like they've been sculpted on pretty well. So in terms of the sculpt, it looks really good. I think with amazing Yamaguchi and similar style of figures, you always get these weird joints, but I think aesthetically this is a very good looking figure. And with amazing Yamaguchi, sometimes the figures, when they're standing in neutral position, look really weird, but I think this figure does not have that issue, which is kind of a good thing, but you still have to kind of ignore some of the joints that are sticking out. With these sculpted bits here, they have been painted really cleanly as well. There are some maybe issues or finicky lines here and there. There's some double up in lines as well, which I don't know if that's a sculpting problem or painting problem, but there are some double lines which look a little bit weird. Some paint scuffs here, but I think still is a pretty good figure. In terms of feel as well, the figure feels pretty nice and sturdy in the hand, and the plastic looks like a higher quality plastic than what we typically get with bootleg figures. Although this is not a bootleg figure, this feels like a higher quality plastic. It is a slightly dull kind of, not a shiny black plastic, and it has like a little bit of a gray kind of tone to it as well. Maybe just the color and look of this figure. That's really nice. The eyes here are really black and shiny, so you can see that contrast going on here. The pegs here, or the joint here, does look like a slightly different color of plastic, similar to this joint, which does stand out a little bit, but it's not too distracting. Now onto the big item. Let's look at the articulation on this figure. This figure can look all the way up, and this is like extra looking up because there's a notch at the back that allows you to move the head all the way back. It can look all the way down with some neck as well. There is good side to side. There is good pivot action here, so you can basically make it look like a broader kind of chest if you want, with Spider-Man looking a little bit more heroic. The arms can go up about that much. The double hinge kind of joint here. The red doesn't throw it off that much because it's a red to red connection here. The color is a little bit different, but I think doesn't throw it off that much. This here looks not seamless, but less noticeable as well when it's neutral pose. So I think that's done really well. The biceps can swivel, and it's a weird cut, but Yamaguchi does that. So when they've copied that over, it kind of looks like a weird joint, but it still functions. The elbow is a single Revoltech joint, but it can get you up to that much, which is better than most of the double jointed action figures, to be honest. But that looks alright. The wrist joint done really well. With the torso, you can crunch up pretty well, so there's no issues there, and move all the way back, although it doesn't go too far back because of that articulated part, or that sculpted part here. So you can take it back about that much. There is side to side, which again, all the joints feel really nice, tough and durable, so I'm really liking that. The lower half of the torso can crunch up about that much, which on its own is also a really good kind of range of motion. And it has like a small piece here that probably isn't adding to the articulation, but just helping to hide some of the seams. So that works really well. I haven't seen any of the seams showing up here, so that is awesome. With the legs, he can kick out and do a full split. There is some not weird, but it's just some Revoltech joint. But there is some weirdness going on here where this kind of articulates a little bit, not directly around. So if you look at that, it just has like a weird range of motion and a weird cut that allows you to articulate it a little bit differently than how a cut joint would articulate on any other figure. So I think I'm not fully used to that, but it still is working decently here. Single joint here that allows you to crunch the knees up, and that is a full range of motion. So there is allowances cut into the actual sculpt that allows you to move that far back, and he can definitely kick his own butt. That is amazing. And this is another joint that I really like, the way Revoltech or Amazing Yamaguchi do, is this joint here. So this allows you to tilt the leg, or basically just the bottom half of the boot. You can tilt or position in a way where it looks a little bit more either natural or menacing, or basically gives you more posability. So I think I really like that joint, which is good. And the ankles are on a Revoltech ball joint, which can go up, down, pivot, and there is toe hinge, which is a little bit stuck on mine. Let me see if I can get that to free up. Oh, that is a little bit stuck. Hold on. Let me try the other one. And there is toe hinge. That looks like that. Now, in terms of accessories, we do get like the human Peter Parker head, although the consciousness is of Dr. Otto Octavius. The head is on this neck kind of thing that if you take this part off, you can replace. So that can, I'll try to do that a little bit later, but I think that can be done pretty quickly and easily. The face sculpt is done really well, and I really like the paints on this face. So here we have the alternate head and neck on the figure body, and that swap out was pretty easy. Spider-Man also comes with this half masked head, which basically the mask goes up to his nose and everything on the bottom here is like exposed skin. So this is also really easy to remove and swap, and it goes well with this particular neck sculpt because of the exposed neck here. But yeah, that's pretty easy to swap out, and it looks pretty good. The only thing about this head is it looks like it sits a little bit too low. If I swap it over to the other head, this head sits a little bit higher than that head. So that's the only weird thing, which I do not like that much. I think if it was sitting a little bit higher, it would have been better. So looking at some of the accessories, Spider-Man comes with these web accessories, and these can fit into the fist hands. This figure also comes with the spider droid robot kind of small thing here. Spider-Man comes with 2 of these hands, 2 of these hands, 2 thwip hands that look really cool, and all of the hands have these red undersides which are painted pretty cleanly. Oh, there is actually, I'm glad I checked that, there is actually a area here where you can place these webs so that the thwipping effect can happen. So that's pretty cool. It also comes with these 2 relaxed kind of hands, these 2 wall crawling hands that are splayed all the way out, and these 2 wall crawling hands that are not as splayed out. This figure also comes with this 3-piece stand that has this small piece that can go up into the top here. This bendy wire part that can bend and hold position pretty well. The bottom part here, or the stand base, has a really clean logo of Spider-Man. I did get some whatever that is, dirt on there, and it's got like a threaded kind of screw thing here, which I think will hold really nicely and will be like a good kind of sturdy kind of way to display Spider-Man. So I don't feel like they've cheaped out on the stand at all. It does look very good and feels very sturdy. I also stand corrected on what I thought were web wings that Spider-Man use in some of the comics. So I thought this was the web wings, but it's actually thwipping effects that come out of the wrist that looks like that. And finally, we also have these articulated legs, and they seem to be on non kind of clicky ball joints, and you've got 4 ball joints here. This one obviously will peg into the figure, so I'll get that set up. But these articulate pretty well. They're painted with this very chrome kind of red, or this very shiny kind of red, and I really like that effect. And you get 4 pieces or four sets of these. So here we have the figure with all of the mechanical arms, and these look incredible on the figure. It does look a little bit too big and kind of cumbersome to, I guess, pose around, because every time I'm trying to grab the figure, there are like arms that are getting in the way. I think they're not as heavy, or they're not as difficult to maneuver because they're very light, and the figure can still stand without any issues even with these on. And the arms are also strong enough to hold Spider-Man up if we need, so that is pretty good. So before we get into the conclusions, the only small issue that I came across with this action figure is that these parts, once they're put on, do not come off. For the life of me, I couldn't get it off. I could actually pull the backpack out, even if it was glued, but these parts did not come off. So here we have this Mess Toys action figure with a bunch of different action figures I have. The Wolverine on the extreme left is a bootleg figure, and I got it in Nepal when I was traveling there. So this figure is a lot worse than the Mess Toys action figure because the plastic quality on that sucks. The joints were pretty terrible, and some of the parts were pretty warped when I initially got the figure. The Amazing Yamaguchi Superman, I think, has superior plastics, but that is like a $130 figure. But the Mess Toys figure is not that far behind, and I think the quality on this figure is pretty good. We've got the CT Toys Batman and the Wolverine action figure as well, but this was just for like a general size comparison. Ultimately, I think that this is a pretty amazing action figure. I really like the aesthetics and the style and basically how this figure has come together. It is not a copied action figure, which also is a big plus. The accessories are outstanding, and the quality of plastics used on this figure is very much on par with good quality action figures. I think even better than sometimes Marvel Legends, where they use like these gummy plastic parts. So I think this is a really good action figure in that sense. I've also added links to the description section below, so you can pick up this Spider-Man action figure from the same link I picked him up from. So that way, hopefully you get like a trusted seller. But I've had no issues with the seller, and they came through and delivered pretty quickly. So hopefully you have a similar experience. I do not think that there's too many issues with this action figure other than the parts sticking out on the back here, and also some of the web lines being doubled up and a little bit weird. I don't know if that's a comic thing, to be honest, but other than that, all the sculpting on this figure is good. The plastics on this figure are really good. The articulation is really good, and the figure does not look as bad or janky when he's doing a neutral pose as Amazing Yamaguchi typically looks. So I think overall it's a W figure. And I guess that's the review. Thank you to all the Patreons for all the support. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.